I want to give the floor just for 5 minutes to a guest speaker. He's Professor Charles Ayoubi from ESSEC in Paris. He was a postdoc at Harvard Business School, and he's an expert in innovation, and in particular about measuring the impact of generative AI and the impact on productivity and work. So, Charles, you can now share your screen, and the floor is yours.
Okay, so thank you so much, Quentin. I mean, it's a pleasure to be here. I'm kind of not really a proper speaker. I'm really looking forward to all the speakers, but as a preview, as a way to sell everything that's coming, I just want to say it might sound weird. You're all here at the Causal Summit. You probably know what's the value of causality, but I wanted to remind us all, like, why are we here? And as the title, I said, it's the first Causal Summit. I'm trying here to prompt the organizers to make several ones. So not calling it the Causal Summit, but the first one coming. So just for people who don't know me, I mean, you can hear scan my LinkedIn. As Quentin rightly said, I'm trained as an economist. I worked a lot, on econometrics, and I study innovation. And my goal has always been to understand the way organizations innovate. Today, I'm a professor at ESSEC Business School, and I'm research affiliate at the Digital and Data Design Institute at Harvard. And the question I've been always wondering about is really how can we make companies, all the big challenges in the world today require innovation, how can we make companies innovate better? And I do that through doing field experiments inside companies. And so one of the questions, that keeps on coming is really, how do all these companies can manage AI? AI has been like the word of the century, the word of the decade. And companies have been building up also a lot of data everywhere. And it seems that it makes them more intelligent. I think Quentin gave a hint at that. But actually what happens is that they just have more information, but no one knows where to focus. No one knows what to understand. And what this creates is just that the discourse that exists, and we're going to have the last session on the impact of GenAI, is just that all the discussions that we have, if you read any newspaper, if you watch the news, whatever you do, all the discussion over the impact of AI, in particular on companies, for example, has been emotional. It's either full enthusiasm saying it's going to change the world, it's going to make us all rich, all great, or based on fear, are we going to lose our job? Are we all going to die? Or skepticism saying, like, this is just a bubble. It's nothing big. People are just like overhyping it. And so the thing that has been tough in this world is like, okay, where do we sit from all of that? And what I'm trying to say is like, there is another way. I'm mentioning here my mentor, Professor Karim Lakhani from HBS, with whom I did my postdoc. And in the case of GenAI in particular, but this applies to everything we've been going through, all the transformations, is beyond all these emotional reactions, whether it's fear, enthusiasm, or skepticism, causality is the way to go to get something that is less normative and more positive in understanding what's happening. And I love the comparison that GenAI, for example, if you want to understand it, it's like a drug. Everyone has been using it. It has side effects, but we don't know what's the right dose, what's the toxicity, and we need to understand that. And what I'm trying to say here is that all the presentations, the 8 coming presentations, give tools to properly analyze the causality of things. So I hope that, just like with these 2 words, I'm super excited about all the talks that are coming, because what they're doing is they're giving us tools to properly analyze, properly understand, and know, what is the impact of all these drugs that we've been giving to our organizations and what they do. And I want to end up with like another quote, another opening from someone that you all know, probably Pablo Picasso, and he says, computers are useless because they can only give you answers. And it's a way to say that I think what makes great causality is not just giving great answers. It's not just, Quentin also had a quote about that, but it's asking the right questions. And I think all the tools that are gonna, all the presentations about, causality in business, the impact of GenAI, all of them are ways of also asking the right questions. And so I hope that we'll have a lot of great questions. And so that's it for me. It's just a way to say, like, why causality? Looking forward to all the talks and happy to connect with anyone in the room. So thank you so much. And I'm really looking forward to all these discussions.